Calls against corruption and demands for a better quality of life echo through the streets of Baghdad and beyond. Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi responded swiftly, outlining proposals to reduce corruption, improve the economy and enhance national security. But Iraqis are still taking to the streets. With the latest from Baghdad, we're joined now by CCTV's Wissam al-Bayati. And Wissam, let me ask you first about security in Baghdad. There was an attack, a bomb attack, in Baghdad on a police station last Friday. 6 policemen were killed, 10 others injured. Earlier this month, there was a truck bomb explosion that killed dozens of people. What is the security situation there right now?
Yes, no doubt that the terrorist attacks against the Iraqi civilians and the Iraqi security forces have been rising during the last couple of weeks, and in response, the Iraqi defense and national security, with the participation of the interior ministries, have deployed more troops in and around the Iraqi capital Baghdad, especially the main routes, as they have formed a joint checkpoints and some foot patrols for reconnaissance purposes. In addition to the Iraqi Air Force are conducting the air patrols over the heavy fortified green zone where the Iraqi political process is taking place. But at the same time, the security situation over here in Baghdad, according to most of the lawmakers and the security experts, they say that the absence of the Iraqi security forces inside the capital Baghdad, after sending them to the front lines, has created a kind of security gap and vacuum inside the capital Baghdad. Therefore, the Iraqi Defense Ministry and the Iraqi Interior Ministries are seeking to recruit more people to deploy them in and around the capital Baghdad to seal that vacuum inside the capital. Yes.
Now, there have been major protests against the government. What are the people's main grievances?
Yes, in fact, the Iraqi people are calling on the Iraqi government to bring reforms to the Iraqi government's policy and even the government's members, in addition to the lack of services such as the electricity, water, and even the infrastructure of the Iraqi capital Baghdad in particular has been suffering from serious damages, and the Iraqi government has failed so far in rebuilding this infrastructure, especially after more than 13 years of removing the dictatorship from Iraq and after the U.S.-led invasion in Iraq in 2003. Yes.
Now, the government is responding to these protests. They've come out with a whole set of proposals on what they want to do. What are the highlights of those proposals?
Yes, according to the Iraqi Haider al-Abadi's, the Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi, he actually made 3 major decisions. The first one is to reduce the number of the ministries from 33 to 22 and to fire the representatives or the deputies of the Iraqi Prime Minister and the Iraqi President in both positions. And the third one is to shorten the number of the guards for the Iraqi officials to the minimum, which reaches 10%, and send the rest of the members or the guards to the front lines to be joined with their brother in arms. In addition to the noticeable things that has been actually noticed by the Iraqi people and most of the activists inside the capital Baghdad, is that these decisions have been only made through the inks over the papers, but nothing has been implemented so far on the reality. In addition to, the Iraqi deputies have so far still working inside their positions, and the guards are still working inside their posts. That's why the Iraqi people are still conducting and holding the protests until their demands are implemented. But at the same time, as I want to mention, that most of the protesters have agreed that they have to consider, the government should concentrate on the basic services first, and then they have to move towards the fighting the corruption. They say that fighting the corruption and providing the security and basic services for the Iraqi people is a big challenge. Therefore, they have to start with the basic services so they can serve the people first, and then they can fight the corruption. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's CCTV's Wissam al-Bayati reporting from Baghdad.